Alrighty then. Hey, this is Wentus yet again, and I'm going to be continuing my series of talking about. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Sonic Adventure, a game that I finished a while back, before I started my Talking About series. You see, while I'm still waiting for the soundproofing foam to come in, I'm doing something a bit different. I'm going to be doing a small series of talking about the previous Let's Plays that I have done. I wasn't going to do these originally, but the fact that I can't upload anything that requires me to look at a screen kind of limits my options. And I really want to record, so what I've done is I've literally put a comforter over myself and my microphones to improve my sound quality and reduce echo. I look like an idiot, but hey, I have good quality and I can actually record videos talking about things this way. So let's get started. As per usual with this, what we're going to start with is first I'm going to talk about what I liked about the game itself, meaning what I thought of the game Sonic Adventure. Second, I'll be talking about what I didn't like about the game. Be forewarned, there's quite a bit here. Well, no, there's not going to be a lot in what I didn't like about the game itself. The long section is what I thought of my own Let's Play of it, which is the third section. I'll be talking a lot about what I thought of my own playthrough of this compared to how much I talk about the game itself. Without further ado though, let's get started. So, the things that I liked about Sonic Adventure. Well, honestly, a lot of what I liked about it is the fact that it's nostalgic. So, yeah, this is one of the games that I grew up with. I absolutely adored this game when I was a kid. I mean, I wish I could have shown off the Chow Garden, which was one of my favorite things, although I by far prefer the Chow Garden Sonic Adventure 2, but that's another video entirely. But, yeah, I loved working the Chow Garden, those adorable little creatures. The gameplay itself, while buggy, was still fun and fun to follow. In my series, I was able to cover what I did enjoy about the story of the game, which was another thing that it did really right. Well, kind of. The story itself was somewhat generic, but what they did really well was character development. It gave personalities and kind of backstories to these characters we've known for years. That was what made Sonic Adventure so fun for me. We learn how Tails learns to stand on his own 2 feet, about Knuckles, why he's guarding the Master Emerald, his history of his people. You learn about a machine that, specifically, Gamma. Gamma's story is one of my favorites in video games, just as a simple short story. It made me really happy. I mean, the story of Big the Cat is, I don't really care about that one. I feel so bad about that. I don't hate Big the Cat as a character, I just don't like his gameplay in Sonic Adventure. But yeah, even Amy, you learn about her becoming more than just an obsessive fangirl of Sonic, which is great. And Amy's character definitely improves over the course of the games, but she started out as just someone who followed Sonic, although, depending on which canon you're going with, that isn't Amy way back in Sonic CD, but that's beside the point. Either way, what this game did so well was it developed characters, and it had some really fun level design. It didn't follow through very well with it because of how buggy it was, but it was still a great concept, and I love the idea of exploring the world and the whole adventure map things. So, yeah, there was a lot that I liked about this game, but overall I don't consider it much of a good game. It's more of a lead into the rest of the Sonic series, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. Next up, talking about what I really didn't like about the game. Man, where do I even begin here? I don't hate this game. Let me say that before I even start talking about what I didn't like about it. I do like this game, but there is a lot wrong with it. I mentioned in the previous one, it is so buggy. I mean, I remember glitches. I've died on the adventure map by falling through the elevator. Like, I got into the elevator, I fell through the floor of it as soon as it locked into a cutscene and I died. There's so many areas where I just fall through the floor. There are other areas where I'll suddenly hit the wrong corner and go flying. Other areas where you just awkwardly run on the walls sideways and upside down and suddenly just stop and fall. It felt like they were trying to explore so many new concepts in a 3D platformer, and they came so close to doing them right, but they just didn't quite have it. And it did not translate well to the GameCube either, which was basically just a visual update for that. So yeah, it was really buggy, which was probably what brought this game down the most. The second thing they brought down, and I don't know if this is the case in the Japanese version, it might have been better over there, but in the American version it sure had this problem: voice acting. From what I'm told, the voice actors in this are actually good actors, and honestly, it's hard to tell with how horrible of a performance it was in this. I can't help but blame whoever directed this game. I'm not going to bother looking at whoever directed the English dub, but seriously, I can't even name all the situations where the voice acting was terrible. At best, it was flat and not believable. At worst, it sounded comedically bad. I guess that's actually, at best, it was comedically bad. At worst, it was flat and unbelievable. I mean, the best example is one of the first lines in the game. Tails is falling from the sky, and Sonic says, "Watch out, you're gonna crash. Ah." What kind of performance is that? Seriously. As much as I can harp on the voice acting, I have to say, whoever did Eggman, he did a great job, because you can tell he was loving it, like every second of it. And I guess you can't really credit anyone else other than Eggman. The more I think about it, every other character was pretty dull and bland. So yeah, because of that, the characters were less likable and less relatable because their voice acting was terrible. And between that and the bugginess, this game became a lot less likable for me. That's really all my big harps on it, though, is primarily between voice acting and bugginess. At least, those are the harps I have for the game itself. Which leads me into what I thought of my Let's Play of it. Just a warning, I think it was my worst series ever. So, my series of this. I don't even know where to start and how bad this was. I mean, to start off, the beginning of this series was when I was still using my old capture card, so the quality is abysmal until about halfway through the series. I didn't know anything about proper sound coordination at the time of making this as well, so the sound is horrible. Basically, let's just agree, the quality of that series, visually and audio, was horrible. Just absolutely horrible. So that's the first area where I went wrong with it. The second area was I went into the game without really thinking about what I was going to do. It's like, it's a linear game, I'll just play through it and not worry about 100%ing and just do it for fun. Well, there are some issues with that. First and foremost, I wanted to incorporate Chow into it, but I didn't think about how to do it, so ultimately, I had to just cut them out. I decided, this is incredibly awkward. I was going to do some community involvement things, but I didn't have a community, which I didn't think through. So, that ended up being incredibly awkward. Let's see, what else did I do wrong with that series? Oh yeah, there was the fact that the game, I hadn't played it since I was like 10, so I didn't realize how much the game did not hold up well. So the gameplay itself was rather dull, probably to watch, but definitely for me to play. So I was actually quite bored early on, and what was the final nail in the coffin for me was, well, not the final nail, the second to final nail in the coffin was the fact that I kept having issues with my capture card, and I kept on losing footage, basically. And once I lose footage, this game automatically saves. If I get to a certain point, I have to replay through the entire game again, get back to where I was, and record the episode again, and hope that it doesn't drop it again. I had to replay through that game from the beginning at least 6 or 7 times in that series. It was stupid. It got to the point where I really started to hate that game, and I didn't want to play it, which caused another problem. If I was playing this game when I first went to college, and when I first moved back, so I ended up having long, 2 to 3 month breaks from the game, and the reason why I didn't start it up again was not because I didn't have the proper recording set. Well, that was the case when I was in college. I really could not have recorded there. You should have heard how loud my neighbors were. But, even when I was home, I had a proper recording set up again. I just didn't want to record that game because I didn't want to play it at all. That was probably the second lowest point for my channel, where I just really considered quitting it or at least canceling the series, because I did not want to finish it. But since I was most of the way through it, and I figured, okay, as long as it doesn't crash again, I will play through the rest of the game. And I got lucky and it didn't crash anymore, so I forced myself to finish that game. The ending is one of my favorite parts of the game, not because it ends, but actually because it's a legitimately good ending. But I guess I'm more of ranting than anything about my series of it. I had a horrible time making that. Like, you guys remember my review of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, how I felt like it dragged? That is nothing compared to how I felt like Sonic Adventure dragged. That's probably it's a tough call. I'd say that Sonic Adventure is the only series I've finished that I regret making. I wish I had never started it and I'd started something else. I kind of feel that way about Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, but enough of you guys enjoyed it to where I don't regret it. At least you guys liked it. But I did not like Sonic Adventure, and I don't think very many of my watchers have actually watched it. Whoa, the floor is shaking because of the washing machine. Huh. Either way, though, yeah. I feel like Sonic Adventure was honestly the worst series I've ever made, and hopefully the worst series I ever will make. Kind of a bummer episode to start off my talking about series for a while. Well, technically not starting it off, but starting off this mini-series of talking about. But yeah, this is where I'm starting because it's the most fresh in my mind, and frankly, I've been wanting to rant about that game for a while now. I'm so sorry for those of you that actually listened through this. I mean, especially, I guess this leads to my final point of, what did you guys think of the game? And usually I ask you guys to talk about in the comments, talk with me about what you thought of the game if you actually watched it. I'm guessing that most of my subscribers have never watched my series of that, and probably never will after watching this. So, yeah, that's kind of a bummer thing, but what do you guys think of it? Did you think it was actually somewhat worthwhile? Did you hate it as well? Did you drop it after a few episodes? That's what I would have done. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Either way, for now though, that's going to be it for this episode of Talking About. Next time, we're going to be talking about, let's see, what was the one I did before Sonic Adventure? I actually don't remember. I thought, was it? No, wait. It wasn't Pikmin 1, was it? No, wait. Either way, whatever it was, I don't remember what it is that I had next on the list, and I have a blanket over my head blocking me from my computer so I can't check. Whatever it is, we'll be doing that next episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. This has been Wentus, and I'll see you guys next time.